In business tonight, an entrepreneur is seeking to make her mark by developing a bigger market for green banana flour and its byproducts. Tonya Eiffel is the owner of Carlisa's Enterprises, which specializes in green banana flour and pasta. The young businesswoman says the list of items that can be made is just as long as regular flour and ranges from brownies to porridge. She recently told the Business Report about what inspired the idea for her company, which she started in February this year.
I did a course between the Ministry of Agriculture and Foreign Affairs, agro-processing in Guyana. So when I came, I was looking for a new product instead of the same sweet potato and cassava flour. So then I decided to do some research, and I researched that green banana is very good for you. So that's how I start with the green banana flour.
Ms. Eiffel says so far the flour is not widely available in supermarkets, but the response from members of the public who tasted the products has been very good.
Green banana is naturally high in fiber, potassium, and magnesium. It's also low in sugar. It's good if you have vitamin E, and is a healthy alternative to the white flour.
The governor of the Central Bank of Barbados, Dr. Delal Worrell, has commended the Financial Stability Board for incorporating small open economies in the decision-making process on de-risking. Governor Worrell's comments came at a recent meeting of the Financial Stability Board in London. He said the board's intervention was important in opening an avenue for small international financial centers like Barbados to participate in the process of decision-making on the matter. He added that it is of vital importance to the growth of Barbados's international business and financial services sector. De-risking strategies, at the center of which is the severing of correspondent banking ties by international banks, has resulted in unwanted dislocation of banking relationships internationally. Here now is a look at how stocks traded on selected exchanges across our region.
In Jamaica, National Commercial Bank Jamaica Limited was the volume leader with 2,480,934 units, followed by Supreme Ventures Limited and JMMB Group Limited. In Trinidad, Guardian Holdings Limited was the volume leader with 742,704 shares valued at $9,655,042, followed by Angus Stewart Holdings Limited and the West Indian Tobacco Company Limited. And in Barbados, Goddard Enterprises Limited was the volume leader, trading 5,029 shares at $9.05 each, followed by Fortress Caribbean Property Fund, Value Fund, and Sagicor Financial Corporation Limited.
And in international business, the transition to India's new currency is impacting the healthcare system there. Indian retailers can't make change for the new 2,000 rupee notes, and consumers are having a hard time buying everyday necessities.
Outside a public hospital in New Delhi, people are feeling the pain of change. Ram Kishore brought his 11-year-old son here for medicine, but he'll leave empty-handed. He says, I'll probably go back to my village tomorrow. I'll come back whenever I manage to get change. What option do I have? A nationwide cash crunch is hitting hundreds of millions in the pocket, now adding suffering for some of the sick. We can't use the new 2,000 rupee notes, he says. We managed to exchange our money to get the new notes, but now the medical stores are saying they can't take that note because they don't have change.
The new notes are twice the size of what was in the market just a week ago. That means you've got a lot of retailers who simply can't make change, and that's frustrating if you're buying basic goods. But if you need something like medicine, the effects, the consequences can be downright dangerous.
The problem gets worse as more and more of the country's new 500 rupee notes and 2,000 rupee notes hit the market. Small bills like 100 rupees are still in use, but it can be tough to get your hands on them. Some ATMs are tapped out. There are long lines at others. People are still lining up for days or hours to exchange old money. 500 and 1,000 rupee notes taken out of circulation with little notice. What Modi did was great, but the implementation has been extremely poor. This is very unfair for the poor people.
And that's business. The weather is up next.
The National Flag of Barbados.
The National Flag of Barbados was designed by Mr. Grantley Prescott. It consists of 3 vertical panels. The 2 outer panels are ultramarine and the center panel is gold. The broken trident stands in the center and represents the mythical sea god Neptune. This symbol appears in the seal of the colony, which was replaced by the Barbados coat of arms. The shaft of the trident is broken, indicating Barbados' break with its historical and constitutional ties as a former colony.
It's a vision whose time has come. This November 29th, Digicel, Barbados is Music presents the most explosive array of titans to share Barbadian stage. Crossfire, Coalition, and Square One will descend upon Kensington Oval for the independent show that will be talked about for the next 50 years. Get your $80 tickets at all advertised box offices. New Look Boutique, Digicel Store at the Costa Mall, Praxis Clothing Store, Play Deli, A&B Music Supply Sheraton, Emerald City, Lewis Wildy, Eddie's Fight Sound, Upbeat Warrens and Sky Mall, and TicketPal.com. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Barbados' Music or call 832-0246 for more information. Digicel, Barbados is Music is sponsored by Remy Martin 1738, Douglas Hill Wines, 98.1, The One, Banks, and Digicel.
Barbados Lumber Company, Waterford and Spikestown is celebrating the 50th anniversary of independence with a special Jubilee store-wide sale from Friday, November 25th until Tuesday, November 29th. Follow the crowd and get 20% discount on a wide range of lumber, plywood, paints, curtains, linens, and many more items. Share in the joy of nationhood with 20% discount from Barbados Lumber Company. Friday, November 25th to Tuesday, November 29th. Terms strictly cash. This offer does not apply to cement and already reduced items.
Good evening and welcome back. We had mixed weather conditions today. It started out blazing hot today, and then by afternoon the rains came pouring down in some areas of Barbados. Surprisingly, at the airport, not a drop of rainfall was recorded, but it was warm. The maximum temperature today, 31 degrees Celsius, and overnight the temperature fell to 25.9 degrees Celsius. Right now, it's fallen just shy of 27 degrees. The relative humidity just a little bit, 86% tonight, and the winds continue to be moderate, and they're coming in from the northeast. And that shear line continues to affect our weather conditions, influence weather conditions across the eastern Caribbean. The southern Windward Islands, the extreme southern Windward Islands like Barbados started off here and then got some showers. Martinique and Dominica got the brunt of the showers, even had some isolated thunderstorms throughout the day. But by afternoon, the intertropical convergence zone shifted northwards, so we had an influx of moisture resulting in those sharp showers during the afternoon. To the north, the leewards continue to get overcast conditions from showers, rain, and even some isolated thunderstorms because of that frontal system there. That front also affecting Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. And there's another frontal system that also affected the southern Bahamas and southern Cuba, while Jamaica and the northern Bahamas and northern Cuba had fair weather conditions. And Otto is now a hurricane, packing winds of 76 miles per hour. It's moving slowly towards the west at about 2 miles per hour. So interest in Colombia and Nicaragua looking out for that system. And the showers and isolated thunderstorms will continue across the region tomorrow. The windwards because of that shear line over the northern islands because of that frontal system. So for us here in Barbados, overcast conditions and showers throughout tonight. Fair tomorrow, but we're expecting scattered showers on Wednesday and Thursday, and increasing clouds and showers on Friday and Saturday. Sunrise will be at 6:01, and the sun will set at 5:29. One high tide tomorrow at 8 minutes before midday, and the first daytime low will be at 24 minutes before 6. Seas will continue to be slight to moderate in open water. We're expecting swells to peak at around 2 meters. That's normal. The winds are coming from the east to the east, northeast, and wind speeds will vary between 15 and 35 kilometers per hour. Cloudy skies tonight, scattered showers and a chance of isolated thunderstorms. And tomorrow, fair for the most part, and we anticipate some scattered showers. Finally now, take a look at forecast weather conditions for the region and then for our selected international cities.
Being Barbadian means being unique. being a cut above the rest, if I can say. Especially in the way we act. It's so different compared to all the other Caribbean islands. Like how we speak, no one can really mimic how we speak, and I'm proud to say that.
We represent the blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue.
News on the international scene now. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump is giving the world a peek into what he wants to get done in the White House.
Donald Trump has not given a press conference in months, but on Monday he released a video on YouTube outlining plans for his first 100 days. In the video, he steers clear of some of his most controversial campaign promises, but he lays out plans for trade, immigration and defense, and a cornerstone of his campaign, job growth.
Whether it's producing steel, building cars, or curing disease, I want the next generation of production and innovation to happen right here on our great homeland, America, creating wealth and jobs for American workers. As part of this plan, I've asked my transition team to develop a list of executive actions we can take on day one to restore our laws and bring back our jobs. It's about time.
And we're back after the break with a recap of our top stories.
The Barbados National Anthem.
The music of the Barbados National Anthem was composed by Mr. C. Van Roland Edwards and the lyrics penned by Mr. Irving Burgee. The anthem has 2 verses and a chorus. Van Roland Edwards was born in 1912 and educated at St. Peter's Church Boys' School. Irving Burgee was born in Brooklyn, New York, to a Barbadian mother and American father. The music of the national anthem was rearranged in 1967 by Inspector Prince Cave of the Royal Barbados Police Band.
The Barbados National Anthem.
Barbados has a long and proud history of nationhood, and as we reach our golden anniversary, we remain guardians of our heritage. The Executive Council and staff of the Barbados Workers' Union proudly salutes Barbados on its 50th anniversary of independence.
This season on CBC TV, The People's Business, Sundays at 8:05 p.m. Made possible by our partners, Solar Dynamics, the most efficient solar hot water system.
Another set of Barbadians will be honored for the island's 50th anniversary of independence. Parliament today passed the Barbados Jubilee Honour Bill. Prime Minister Frundell Stewart says the legislation will allow those Barbadians who have contributed significantly to the island's development since independence to be recognized. Governor of the Central Bank of Barbados, Dr. Delal Worrell, has commended the Financial Stability Board for incorporating small, open economies in the decision-making process on de-risking. He said that the board's intervention was important in opening an avenue for small international financial centers like Barbados to participate in the process of decision-making on the matter. In a look at the forecast for tonight, it will be partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy with some scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms. Tomorrow, fair to occasionally cloudy with some scattered showers.
The Barbados economy has turned the corner and is on a sustainable growth path, thanks to a rebound in our tourism sector. This sector is said to be diversified, both in terms of its source markets and an array of exciting offerings catering to the varied tastes and interests of our visitors, whether they're interested in sports, culture, fine dining, heritage, or just the traditional sun, sea and sand. Additionally, the planned refurbishment in the accommodation sector and the significant interest in new investments, Sandlord's Castle and the planned Hyatt among others, make for a bright future.
Right now, we're more interested in these dominoes, but trying to show them the You understand what he's showing you, boy? You understand what he's showing you, boy? We get jumped down for a tough man. How do you feel about that? Big man, this Sandals deal is bare nonsense. Them getting away with murder. Getting the rich man all the benefits and the poor people down here suffering.
We talking so much nonsense. Big brands like Sandals will encourage more visitors to come to Barbados.
Concessions. We hear this term quite often, and many only associate it with big businesses. However, right across this country, businesses of all sizes and individuals benefit from concessions. In this episode, we take time to explain just what concessions are and how they impact the country's fiscal management. Like many businesses in agriculture, manufacturing, renewable energy, and financial services, Sandals Barbados benefited from government concessions. We hear from Chairman of the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. as to the benefits of government concessions to international brands like Sandals.
Government grants concessions to businesses because government wants businesses to perform well so that they can collect taxes, so they can do the everyday things that a government needs to perform, such as look after health care, education, social care, all those necessary things to help the average person in the country.
Seems like concessions are mutually beneficial for both government and businesses. But what about the general public?
There is no doubt that without these concessions, the businesses will not be able to employ as many people as they do, especially at the beginning of the business tenure. And so it is important that businesses be given every opportunity to do well. But by extension, I think that people do well because there are job opportunities that would not normally have existed without the concessions.
The incentives effectively help the hoteliers to reinvest back into their hotels, to remain competitive and be sustainable, and thereby creating employment for the people of Barbados. We presently employ 1 in every 10 or 11 employees on this island.
All these concessions to individuals and businesses do add up, and they certainly impact government's revenue. The Ministry of Finance said recently that tax refunds or concessions to Barbadians could run well into tens of millions of dollars. There is absolutely no doubt that we all love concessions, but remember, they come at a cost. Concessions are an immediate benefit to us, but a risk to government.
There is an upside and downside to everything, and one can well argue that by giving the concessions, government may be losing out on taxes and other charges that they will be normal to apply. But we have to see it from both sides, and there is no doubt in my mind that government needs the businesses, they need the private sector, and therefore one has to weigh the balance between granting the concessions and government being able to encourage private sector to perform so that more people can be employed, we can continue to look after our health care, our educational system, and our social systems.
Private investment in hotels and tourism-related activity is expected to be over $600 million over the course.
Concessions are amazing for those who receive them, but for government, it's at a cost, and in some cases, it's a decision with long-lasting impact. So the granting of concessions really is something that is not taken lightly by government. Until next time, I am Alicia Bascom, and this has been It Matters Fiscally.
But wait, why the healthcare costs gotta be so high though?
Total health expenditure in Barbados today is about $732 million, of which 55% is provided through taxation.
A significant amount of government's annual budget goes to health care. In fact,
if there is not an impact on the NCDs in the next 5 to 10 years, healthcare costs is going to be astronomical.
at it again this year. We're going around the country bringing to you the names of places that are unfamiliar. They may be a little strange. Now, while the places that I found this year, they're not as exotic as in previous years. There's no Bambajani Corner or Centipede Alley. But here in St. Peter, I found Collins. That's one of the places. And while the name is not as exotic, it was almost like coming home. Collins is the typical country community tucked away in Boscobel, St. Peter. Our search for information about the place led us to this lady, Mrs. Naomi Johnson. 82-year-old Mrs. Johnson insists the area's name should not be confused with the Bajan Collins.
This name after the plantation. That plantation, that this land belongs to the name Collins. And then Lambert's take over. But we grew up, and that's what this year happened, Collins, Tenantry.
Growing up in Collins was mostly fun and games for Mrs. Johnson and her 8 brothers and sisters. They were all raised by their grandmother.
We all used to have our own little piece of ground working. Plant corn, and even plant potatoes. Although our grandmother used to work hers, you know, we still had a piece. She gave me a piece. Young people now ain't going in the ground. But you give me a piece, you know I got a piece above the ground that I just still going out there 82 years.
And not much has changed over the years. There are a few more houses, but Mrs. Johnson remembers the old folk.
Down here was Bess, Miss Jackman, the Morris, behind there. And a few, it was Evie, it was Laura. We had about, I would put it to about 14 to 15 houses, if something. But since when people start working the ground, then, you know, like the generation come on and build houses and get houses, but down here they have so many houses.
From Collins, we took a hop, skip and a jump over to a place called Baltic. Of course, we're still in St. Peter. And as far as places with strange names go, this one is certainly up there with them because it was very tricky trying to find out the origin of the Baltic. Here, we found a retired Anthony Belgrave relaxing in his veranda. He left Barbados for England in 1946 at age 19, but still has fond memories of growing up in Baltic.
George used to play on this step here, what do you call pickups and all that kind of things, you know. Hitting my diddy, or he shot laptop. That was the sort of thing that did. And most of us as young boys were not rude in those days. We were just sociable but not rude.
When you say not rude but sociable, explain what you mean.
Well, nowadays you want to do things, you know, you want to go further than a girl will allow you, but in those days it wasn't that. We just talking, maybe hold hands, and you might be lucky to get a kiss on the cheek or whatever. You know, that was it.
And try as he might, Mr. Belgrave could not tell us where the name Baltic came from, noting only that the neighborhood had always been small, limited to about 5 houses at any one time. He says he learned many life lessons as a resident of the area.
I have a lot of respect for older people, a lot of respect for my elders, a lot of respect for my father and mother. I never used to behave badly, never, ever. I always respect my father especially. My mother would lash me a few times, you know. But my father, in fact, my father spent a lot of time in America, you know, on the contract. So I didn't see much of him not to live to England. But it was all right.
And he says there is a certain legacy that comes with being a Baltic man.
It is said now that if you come from the Baltic with the sort of the older fellas, you know, it should teach you how to behave and get on like that, you know. And if you come from the Baltic, if you're a Baltic person, you know how to treat women, how to behave. That's the thing.
Collins and Baltic, 2 little-known communities in the parish of St. Peter.
And that's news for now. On behalf of the entire crew, I'm Lisa Lloyd. Thank you so much for joining us and have yourself a wonderful night.
watching CBC TV Channel 8, the station of our 50th independence anniversary.
Easy to play, easy to win. I told her I'd take it this way, I begin to win with Mega 6.
Hello, I'm Portia. Mega 6 keeps on making Barbadians richer. Over $3.8 million has been paid out to lucky Mega 6 players so far this year. And if your lucky numbers are drawn, well, now, you could win $600,000. Now on to tonight's Mega 6 draw number 3,797. It's supervised by Auditor Shazila Rampersad from Ernst & Young. Those eligible tickets, they're dated the 22nd of November 2016. Now, for tonight's lucky numbers. The first number, 6. The second number, 32. Your third number is 4. And the fourth number, 22. The fifth number, 21. The sixth and final number, 31. Your numbers, 6, 32, 4, 22, 21, and 31. Meet our latest winner. Congratulations from the Barbados Lottery. Purchase has its privileges. Play VIP Club, the new instant scratch game with thousands of prizes to be won from $100 to $5,000 and up to 20 chances to win on each ticket. You can be a VIP. Get your VIP Club tickets from Barbados Lottery agents island-wide. That Super Lotto jackpot is all of $3,690,000. Get your tickets. You have to be in it to win it. Join us on Thursday night, 8 o'clock, for the next Mega 6 draw. The Barbados Lottery, supporting sport, youth, and culture.
Easy to play, easy to win. I told her I'd take it this way, I begin to win with Mega 6.
You're watching CBC TV Channel 8, the station of our 50th independence anniversary.
Welcome to the Global Entrepreneurship Week panel discussion, talking the barriers to success in entrepreneurship, brought to you by the Barbados Youth Business Trust. I'm your host and moderator, Corey Lane. Joining me on the panel today from left to right, we have Mr. Ryan Mosley. He is the Enterprise Officer of the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme. We have Mr. Jeremy Stephen. He is the President of the Barbados Economic Society and lecturer at the University of the West Indies. And we also have Mr. Michael Callender. He is the Manager of Credit and Project Development at Fund Access. And, of course, Mrs. Cardell Ferguson, General Manager of the Barbados Youth Business Trust. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, today I want to start off the discussion on the Global Entrepreneurship Week and the role of the Barbados Youth Business Trust. What are your expectations and what are you hoping to basically to achieve from this week?
Those are a lot of questions, but let's start with what the Global Entrepreneurship Week is about. The Global Entrepreneurship Week is an initiative that was started by the Kaufman Foundation 10 years ago. And we've started working on the Global Entrepreneurship Week initiative from 2007. This year, our theme for Global Entrepreneurship Week is building sustainable businesses. And we are focusing on strengthening the spine. And for us, the spine is sustainability, profitability, innovation, networking and communication, excellence, and export. And those are the key areas that we see entrepreneurs need to build on in order for them to become sustainable. The Barbados Youth Business Trust now, for the second part of your question, is the local host of the Global Entrepreneurship Initiative. Currently, it's being celebrated in 160 countries across the world simultaneously during this week. We hope that at the end of this week, we have a deeper appreciation of entrepreneurship. We're also hoping that the persons who are thinking of entrepreneurship would see it as a viable career choice. We're also hoping that a lot more people are aware of all of the people who are supporting entrepreneurship here in Barbados. And with forums like this, we can learn of how we can help entrepreneurs to build the sustainability of their businesses by overcoming the challenges that they are facing.
I think that is excellent, because that brings me into my first question. As we look at educational and personal barriers, a lot of times we talk about entrepreneurship and people not even exactly sure what it is, the difference between a businessman, a small businessman, and an entrepreneur. And I think that the educational barrier is a serious barrier, and I'd like to open up that question to the entire panel. What are some of the educational and personal barriers when you consider training, education, the mindset, when we think about entrepreneurship? Let's start with you, Ryan.
Well, entrepreneurship education is critical to fostering a culture of entrepreneurship in Barbados. As you would know, our educational system is founded on a lot of years of producing what we consider to be well-rounded students, but in the more traditional areas like the legal field, the accounting field, the political field. However, entrepreneurship has only taken root within the last 10 years or so, and hence the curriculum is still geared towards these mainstream courses of study. It is critical that we make sure that entrepreneurship is the bedrock even within our educational system, even at the primary level, because you need to inculcate a sense of entrepreneurship within students as young as they possibly can. We may not be able to give them the full gamut of entrepreneurship, but at least we could expose them to the principles. And as Ms. Ferguson would have said, we need to make sure that, that we expose them to entrepreneurship, expose them to becoming employers rather than employees, so that they too would help